Good afternoon, East Texas Cigar Tribe. Coming to you live from Lufkin, Texas on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Sitting out in the shop, getting ready to smoke a little Gurkha Warpig. So Gurkha is a funny brand. Gurkha has the lovers, the people that absolutely are uber fans of Gurkha, and then it's got the haters. I think the haters are there because, frankly, if you're paying full price for a Gurkha, you're paying a lot. And I think the argument is that it's too much money for the stick. My personal opinion has always been that I think they're great. The blends are great. I've never had a smokability issue with them. I really like the flavor of most Gurkhas. I like a Legend is one of a stick that I go to quite a bit. I keep 10 or 15 of them around. I try to keep I've got some Crest torpedoes around that are a super expensive stick that are great. I've never smoked a Warpig before. I'm getting ready to smoke one today. I bought a couple of singles. The Regent is one of my favorite blends they have. They've got some other sticks that are the what is it called? East Indian Trading Company that they're marketed under, but it's still a Gurkha stick. The Hudson Bays, lots of sticks that I've actually got currently in my humidor that are Gurkhas that I really enjoy the flavors. I've had one or two issues with quality, with wraps coming undone here and there, but for the most part, I haven't really had to pay full price for them either. So, the argument that maybe a Gurkha is a overpriced stick for what you get, maybe it is if you're looking at MSRP, but I think you can get a pretty good deal on a Gurkha online. And I think from the flavor of the stick, is what counts to me. I've always been pretty happy. But, once again, all this stuff is super subjective, and, what the hell do I know? It's my taste buds, my primitive East Texas taste buds that are signing off on that. So with that said, I've never smoked a Warpig. I got a buddy that lives up in Arkansas. This is one of his that he really likes. I also saw a guy the other day that said the Warpig is his favorite stick to have when he's on the golf course. So I'm going to smoke one today. So I bought two singles, and I broke out one of them. I don't know what the other one looks like. But right off the bat, I got the wrap is coming undone. So this is a Maduro wrap cigar. And the interesting thing is it's got a Connecticut binder. Well, I know it's a Connecticut binder because I read about it, but I also know it's a Connecticut binder because I can see it coming through right there, which might be a bit of a quality issue. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it and light it, and we'll see what we got. So some of these wraps there's some wraps that are made out of natural, that are tobacco material and whatnot. I had a wrap the other day that was a piece of gold leaf that I smoked right through. In this case, I am not smoking through this piece of paper. A lot of these cigars that you see in convenience store cigars that a lot of people smoke, a lot of the cigars that a lot of us cut our teeth on as young men coming up and show up at a party and people bring a bunch of cigars. They were those kind of cigars. Some of them actually look like tobacco product wrapped around, but quite often they're not. They're paper. Okay, so once again, the Cigar. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick the end of a lot of guys don't use the Cigar for any type. This is a Bellicoso. Looks like a torpedo. A lot of guys don't use them. I'm going to use it. I've always cut any kind of torpedo with a straight cut. Plugs, I don't think you can plug one, but I'm going to stick the end right through here. Make sure I got it square. See how it does. Dude, nicely done. So Gurkha, as everybody knows, is a Honduran company. I think this is a Honduran and Dominican filled stick. It's going to be long fillers. So I'm going to smoke through those bad spots. I reckon that one that's up close, I probably won't get to it. Got to be pretty close on the nub. I have a tendency to lip them pretty good and get them pretty wet up there on the cap. So I don't reckon that's going to be smoking by the time I get to it. Pretty disappointed about the wrap on this. You know what? But let's be clear. This is a MSRP $10 stick. $10 cigar MSRP. But I think I paid $3.50 or $4 for it online. So frankly, if it tastes as good as I think it's going to taste for a $4 or $5 stick, man, how can you beat it? How can you bitch too much? How can you be on the hater bandwagon on that? I've eaten fast food that is not good, but it'll do in a pinch. But I suspect that this not only is going to do in a pinch, I suspect it's going to taste quite nice, and, dude, the price is quite right. I'm trying to figure out what I actually paid for this. Everybody says, hey, man, so what do you do for, how do you keep up with your cigars? What do you do? Do you have one of those little journals or novel things that you write in? No, I do not. What I do is I got a spreadsheet. So chocolate is rolling all off of it. Just absolutely chocolatey. I'm getting spice as well. Nice spice. Okay, looking at the trusty spreadsheet. $3.50. So you can bitch all you want. Boo-hoo-hoo. Gurkha, man, quality, blah, blah, blah. You know what? If this was a $2 Tuesday and this was a $2 stick that you bought and it was a quorum, nobody'd be bitching. It's a $3.50 stick. But are the blends top notch? Man, I think they are. This tastes pretty good. Pretty robust cigar, pretty robust flavor profile. So, right off the light, chocolate, spice, like a milk chocolate, creamy milk chocolate, or maybe I'm tasting some cream and some cocoa, but we're going to call it a milk chocolate. Yeah, for sure. Yep, chocolate cream, and not really getting any earth. Not really getting any wood, at least not yet. Sweetness, chocolate coming through. So I barely got going good. Let's smoke it down a little bit. Let's get through this first third, and I'll catch y'all in the second third. So as I'm well into the first third and approaching the second third, it is still nice and chocolatey. The spice is still there, but it's not quite as prevalent. The cream is still absolutely right on the tip of the tongue. Nice sweetness. This is a well-balanced stick. Very tasty, well-balanced stick. Burn is great. Beautiful white ash. You can see I'm coming up onto that little bad spot there. Just like a little piece of the wrap at the end is just where the vein was coming through, just didn't glue properly. So there you go. It's still great. I'm going to smoke it down some more, and we'll talk a little later. All right, as we're getting down to that bad spot, I can see that it's actually, I don't know, it's that piece of leaf that was just hanging there. So it's definitely part of the wrap, but there was a lot of wrap underneath it. It did not leave the binder exposed by any stretch. So I'm getting close enough. I think I'm going to pull this band. So, I don't know if any of you guys have had problems. Sometimes they use way too much glue on bands, and you try to pull it off, and you wind up pulling the wrapper. So what I do is I kind of heat it's been heating up. I've been smoking from that band, but now I'm going to heat it up with my finger just a little bit. And I'm going to grab that edge, and I'm going to gently pull it off. And I'm going to pull it all the way around, nice and gently. And there you go. Beautiful. Got a little cherry popping up there, smoking a little bit too fast, obviously. You can kind of see now that little piece of tobacco that's where that vein's sticking up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when I smoke down through it. I can see underneath it. Not a big deal, but, this is one of those moments that all the Gurkha haters are going, see, I told you, they suck. They're not any good. But I'm going to tell you, man, I don't know how you can get around the fact that this is a really nice smoking, nice drawing. It's a bellicoso. It's a little bigger stick. I think it's 6.2 by 54 maybe. I may not be exact. If it's not, I'll post up what it is. But I think that's what it is. And, do different size sticks, do they smoke differently? I think there's no question they do. They taste different for sure. I tend to smoke sticks that are north of 50 all the time, even though you can find some Churchills that are 48s. But the fact is, I usually like a 52, 54. I like a Toro. But, every now and then I like a little short stick as well. But this one is definitely smoking great. Draw has been great. The burn has been great. I still have not touched it up. I may or may not have to touch it up once I get past this little spot, but it's got great flavor. The flavor has changed, but it's not changing as expected. I was thinking that the spice was going to start stacking up on it. Maybe a little bit. Maybe I'm getting a little more spice now, but I was expecting by now for the chocolate to start maybe tapering off and having more of a straight tobacco flavor with maybe some creamy sweetness and maybe a little more spice stacking up, but not really getting that. I'm gonna purge real quick. Purge, and let's see what we get. Yeah, I'm definitely getting more spice. No question. Getting more spice. It's got a great nose. Great nose. Smells great. This is not that typical Maduro that I'm expecting to have the taste lingering in my mouth for the next 2 days. This is nice. Still got creaminess, definite creaminess. Maybe I'm starting to get a little bit of wood, but definitely cream, definitely spice. Smoking nice. I'm going to smoke down another couple of inches, and I'll be back. We'll talk about it a little more. All right, East Texas Cigar Tribe. So I'm halfway down the stick. I smoked right through that little bad spot. And really, I don't have a spot that I really feel like touching up. I haven't touched it up yet at all. You can see right down that vein that had the little piece of leaf kind of hanging. Dude, it's not really a big deal. And the flavors are still just great, spot on. I like a Honduran stick. As a general rule, I'm kind of a Nicaraguan guy. With that said, because a lot of the great companies are out of Nicaragua. This company's they say it's got a 100-year history, which is kind of BS. So this guy started making cigars, 89, 90, 91. Hansosha, I think his name. If you read the website, it says they've got a 100-year history. Well, I think the brand name has been around 100 years, but these guys haven't. So in the early years, I think they might have had some quality control issues. With that said, and for full disclosure, man, I've only been smoking Gurkhas for a year, not even a year. And I've never really had an issue with them. Do I get some sticks occasionally that have things like this happening? This was probably the worst that I've had, which it's, if this is the worst it gets, then that ain't too bad. I haven't had any crazy ones that won't draw or anything where the blend was just totally off the chain. So for the most part, I've had pretty good sticks from them. But, if we're keeping it real, Nick Perdomo has got one of the best brands anywhere. Nick Perdomo knows his stuff. And I've got Perdomos in the humidor right now, setting aging. But the truth is, I just reviewed that 25th anniversary, the champagne, the shade, and I've got a Maduro anniversary in there right now. But that's a champagne. But the truth is, man, I almost didn't go back to that stick because the first one I got came fully unraveled. It was a nightmare. So is it a quality control issue with them? Could somebody have dropped the stick in the humidor and put it back up? Should I have looked at it closer when I bought it? Maybe I should have. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I've had a lot of cigars, and most of them we talk about, I smoke from the 6 to the 12, 6 to the $15 range, something to that effect. My average stick is probably $6 or $7 average. So, maybe I don't expect a lot. My more expensive sticks that I bought, I've never really had issues with them. They've been great sticks. And you would expect it. If you, spend $12, $15 or like that $35 stick that I smoked the other day, I would expect it to be damn good, period. So, maybe it's all perspective. But the truth is, there's issues. I've had issues with a lot of different companies, little small things. If you smoke enough of them, every now and then you're going to get a bad one. These are hand rolled. All these cigars that we smoke are somebody is sitting there with raw material. They're bunching it together in their hand. They're binding it together. They're putting it together. They're putting a wrap around it. They're then putting a cap around it each time by hand. They're expected to get so many cigars out of so many pounds of tobacco or so many ounces of tobacco. They get given a bag, and they're expected, if you're rolling Toros, to get so many sticks out of that bag. If you got too many, guess what? You're not putting enough. You're too thin on the tobacco. If you're getting not enough, then guess what? You've wasted tobacco, and you probably got too much tobacco in the cigars. So it's a craft, man. And, anytime somebody's doing anything by hand over and over, every now and then you're going to get one that's not exactly perfect. The quality control is supposed to come when they're bunching them together and laying them all out and going, okay, these are all the same blend. These are all the same cigar. Yeah, man, nice. So these are all the same blend, all the same cigar. They're all the same size. But as I'm looking at them as a quality control person, this group right here is a certain color. This group, the leaves were just a little bit different tint, and they're a different color. So when I'm boxing them, these are going in one box except for that one. Let's pull it out and find one that matches. That's what they're doing. That's really where the quality control comes in. So if I blame anybody on this, it's that somebody, when they were putting them together, probably should have caught that. It's not that it was rolled any different or the flavors are going to be different. But once again, I had that one little ugly spot plus the spot up where I could kind of see the Connecticut binder coming through. But really, I ain't having no problems with this cigar. I'd smoke it again and again. And frankly, like I said earlier, I got a bunch of Gurkhas. You guys can hate on me, I guess, as well. But I got a lot of other different sticks as well. So that's about it, man. So y'all keep on smoking. For y'all that are on the forums and haven't tried a Gurkha because everybody bashes them, go buy you 4 or 5 of them. Go, you don't see them. It's still a boutique cigar. You don't see them out in humidors that often. I don't know if it's because people won't buy them, but you can buy them online. So, man, go out and buy you a few. Try to buy you a sampler that's got a few of them. Buy you a pack of 5. They're cheap enough, man. They are a good smoking cigar. If you can get them cheap enough, who cares what somebody else says? And if you like them, that's what counts, man. This is all subjective. So y'all keep smoking. Post up what you're smoking today. And if you're a Gurkha hater, man, post it up. Tell me why. Maybe you got some compelling evidence why I'm going to go throw the rest of my Gurkhas away. Who knows? Maybe you'll have some influence over me. But I wouldn't hold your breath. Y'all have a good one, and peace out. Catch you on the flip side.